What's up, you guys? Top of the morning. It's a cold one out here in Vegas. It's like 40 degrees. I know that's not cold for most of you guys, but for us here in Vegas, it's pretty chilly. I'm out here at the park with Penny. She gets me out every morning, and usually when I'm walking around the park, I think about car audio stuff to talk about. Man, I'm addicted. My name is Ahmed, and I'm addicted to car audio. Do I need help? Maybe. Do I want help? No. I enjoy this addiction, better than other addictions, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I wanted to talk about tuning, DSP tuning. As some of you know, and for those that are new to the channel, welcome. I tune 100% strictly by ear. I've never used REW, and there are other programs that I'm not even familiar with, and because of that, I've never used them either. Strictly 100% by ear. I've been doing car audio for 30 years now. 30, almost 31. I forget exact month I started, but I got my first taste of car audio in 1994. Here we are, 2025. So over 30 years been in car audio, and in my car audio experiences, everything has always been done by ear. I'm not against new programs that make things easier, but here's my take on those really quickly. Number one, I try to simplify things. Some may say that using REW and other programs may make it simpler, but for me, it overcomplicates things. It makes things too technical. I don't want a technical sound, if you will, if that makes any sense to you guys. For those of you who tune by ear, I'm sure you know what I mean. For those of you who don't, you might be confused. I'm saying, like, I've heard some SQ cars that were so precise, if you will, that it wasn't enjoyable. It didn't have the harmony, the melody, the warmth, the overall cohesion that I'm looking for. And that's not to say that the REW programs or other programs are bad. It's just, to me, it takes the human element out of it. And on top of that, every tuner that I know, from champion SQ tuners to hobbyists, enthusiasts, experienced amateurs such as myself, or, well, amateurs as far as competing, which I'll never do, but that's another topic altogether. But for those of us who do tune by ear and know how to tune by ear, everybody that I know, those champions, they use the REW programs and other programs, and then they finalize their tunes by ear. So they're using the program to get them to a good house curve, I guess, a good starting point, and then they finish it by ear. Well, in my experiences, I've been able to set my own house curve by ear. Like, I just feel it. I know it. I feel it. Before I continue about the tuning, let me give you a quick backstory for those of you who don't know. Some of you who follow the channel, thank you. You know this story, but anyway, I used to compete DB drag, and I built all my boxes all myself. Never used any box building programs. I had access to them, but never did it because I wanted to learn the hard way. And I figured, worst case scenario, what if the program stopped working or something didn't go right, and then I can't fix my box? But if I built it myself, I know everything I did, everything I didn't do, and I can fix it. I used to compete DB drag. Sorry about that, let me switch hands. I used to compete DB drag, and I used to use Cerwin-Vega strokers. I had a wall with two 15-inch strokers. I had other non-wall builds with strokers and Cerwin-Vega series subs, and I was semi-sponsored by Cerwin-Vega. And what I mean by semi is it wasn't a full sponsorship, but we also got amazing deals from Cerwin-Vega and didn't have to pay costs. I mean, didn't have to pay retail. We paid even less than costs, so it was great. Anyway, Cerwin-Vega legend, Dr. Fairchild, he was a subwoofer god, and he knew those subs in and out like nobody's business. Anyway, it was a show coming up, and we reached out to Fairchild to get some ideas. Well, my teammate did, told me just talk to Fairchild, see what he says, and I told him, same thing I tell everybody, I want to do it myself. How can I learn if somebody does it for me? Anyway, Fairchild sent me a design This was so long ago, he actually faxed me a design. I wish I still had the fax to show you guys. But anyway, he faxed me a design, and I told him, I said, respectfully, Dr. Fairchild, everybody knows you are a car audio god, subwoofer god, but if I use your design, I'll never know how to make my own. And he said, all right, son, build your box and let me know how it goes. I decided to build my box myself, strictly off ear, off design, looking at the specs and figuring out what needs to be what. I built my box. My box was 0.75 inches off of Dr. Fairchild's design. And that box that I built shattered my back window. Some people don't believe me, but trust me, I got a ton of people who saw it actually happen. And I called Dr. Fairchild and told him what happened. He was blown away. He was excited. He's like, I can't believe it, son. You blew your back window out. And me and my whole team, we sitting there high-fiving and stuff. Then it was like, oh, crap. I got to buy a new back window. But anyway, I just have a feel for it. Please believe me, I'm not bragging. It's just something that I just got a knack for, if you will. So going back to tuning, people go through extreme measures using microphone arrays, and I'm not saying that those things don't work, but I honestly can just do it by ear. I find it to be easy. Not bragging, but it's simplified to me. I like to simplify it. And then on top of the technical simplicity that I try to make happen in my head, I also, for those of you who've not seen the channel, I tune by listening with headphones first. I figure if it sounds good in the headphones, let me get my car to sound like the headphones. Does it take longer? Possibly longer than using REW or a mic array, but still, I get it to work. So there's no perfect headphone because we all hear differently. So I do have a bunch of different headphones. I have Edifier headphones for those of you who may like Edifier. I have Sennheiser headphones for those of you who like those. I have One Audio. I actually like those better than the Sennheisers and the Edifiers. That's just how I hear things. Nobody can say, oh, you're using the wrong headphones, so your car's not going to sound right, because I've been to SQ shows. I'm sure a lot of you guys have, or even if not SQ shows, just shows or get-togethers or hangouts with people. Hangouts with people that have different sounding cars, right? There's no way we can say, oh man, you use the wrong tuning software, your car doesn't sound right, unless it's universally bad. I'll link the other video where I talked about that. But for the most part, we all know what good sound is. Good sound is subjective within reason, but bad sound is universally bad. We know that. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back to the point. The point is, no matter what headphones you use, if they're decent headphones, we're not talking about some Walmart specials or some 7-Eleven specials, some cheapies. If we have good headphones, we're gonna get a good idea of what the music's gonna sound like. I stream my music through Tidal, and I have a FIO M11S DAP. So I plug my headphones into my FIO player. I listen to the song a couple of times, like, okay, I know what it needs to sound like, and I get in my car and I tune until I get it to sound like what it sounds like in the headphones. Is it exact? Pretty damn close, to be honest. Pretty damn close. Again, that's not to say, or we cannot say, oh, you used the wrong headphones. Come on, Penny. You can't say we used the wrong headphones so your car sounds bad, because there are countless amounts of headphones, and who can say which headphones are the best? Who is setting the standard for what's the best, right? I don't believe in a set standard, because again, going to these SQ competitions, I hear cars that some are champions, some are not, whatever the reason, and sometimes I'm like, this car shouldn't be a champion, or why, how, where I feel that this car sounds better, but the champion car might be technically better, so on and so forth. You can go on and go in circles for days, losing my breath. You can go on for in circles for days trying to figure out which is best. It drives us crazy. So to avoid the craziness, again, I listen in headphones. I try to replicate the headphones as best I can in my car, and that's how I do it. Is it right? For me, yeah. Is it wrong? For you, maybe. I don't know, but it works for me. I say all this to say, Hopefully my phone doesn't cut off. Let's see. Still recording. Good. Okay. I say all this to say that within reason, there's no right or wrong. Within reason. I mean, yeah, it's right if it sounds right. It's wrong if it's like super bright tweeters, your mid sound like bullhorns, your mid bass is muddy, your sub bass is overpowering everything. That can be considered wrong. But again, we all have our choices. Take, for example, Beats by Dre headphones. Some people say they're too bassy. Some people absolutely love them. Who are we to say who's right or wrong, right? And it's not that my car is extra bassy or extra tinny or anything like that, but I think my car sounds pretty good, pretty spot on, considering that I tune by ear. And again, I'm saying all this to say that for those of us who are actually new to car audio and tuning, and you want to try tuning for yourself, try, if you will, not to overcomplicate things. Look at it for what it is. You know what your frequencies are supposed to be, especially if you're running active. You know what your frequencies are supposed to be. Cross your speakers over at those given frequencies and then tune at those given frequencies. Don't push those frequencies beyond their limits. If you know your mid bass is pushing too hard and it sounds muddy and your door is rattling even at low volume, your gain's too high. Your bass is boosted too high. It's so many things to consider. But again, losing my breath. So many things to consider, but try to replicate the sound that you get in your headphones. Like, I wouldn't want to listen on a home audio system and then listen on headphones and they sound similar, but then get in my car and it sounds completely different. That would just ruin the joy, the experience of my car audio experience. I mean, my car audio system. And I mean, like me, I know a lot of you guys paid a lot of money for our systems. We want them to sound right. I don't want to be listening in my home or listening on my headphones, then get in my car and it sounds totally different. That would suck. So again, I try to replicate the sound that I'm getting out of my headphones or even a good home audio system, a reference system, and try to make my car sound like that as best I possibly can. All right, all this walking is catching up to me. Penny, she got juice. She ain't even sweating. Ain't even breathing hard. She's just chilling. Right, Penny? Where you at? Oh, she's back there somewhere. All right. Me and Penny about to take off. We got stuff to do. Anyway, I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. Hopefully you feel the same, but if not, please talk about it. I just don't think there's no one way to do things, and using the software and then eventually finalizing what the software did by ear, I just bypass the software and just go strictly by ear. It works for me. Not saying it'll work for everybody, and not saying that my way is perfectly right, but it works. It works for me, and you guys like the way my system sounds. I appreciate that so very much. I really, truly do. Thank you guys for going on me and Penny's walk. Thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you guys next time. Until then, stay tuned.